Conor Benn versus Chris Eubanks Jr. Now, this, to me, next to Terrence Bud Crawford versus Errol the Truth Spence, this fight I'm emotionally, I'm really excited about. It's nerve-wracking, and I'm going to tell you why. They're going to be fighting each other October 8th at a catch weight of 156 at the O2 in London. Look, this fight, if you came up in the 90s at all, if you watched boxing in the 90s at all, you know the significance of this fight, all right? Conor Benn being the son of Nigel Benn. You can't say Conor Benn isn't like his father, okay? This guy is something else. And like I said, in coming up right now in the welterweight division, and you have Boots Ennis and you have Virgil Ortiz, Conor Benn is right there. And I'll tell you this, if he beats Chris Eubanks Jr., if he beats him, I got him above Boots and Virgil Ortiz. And I'm not talking about abilities. He's just above them. You know, it's kind of like how Teofimo Lopez, after he fought Lomachenko, he was above Gervonta Tank Davis. I don't give a damn what you guys think about the skills or whatever. Conor Benn fighting Chris Eubank, who has fought as high as 168, as talented as he is. But what gets me is the significance of this fight. Like I said, going back to the 90s, their fathers fighting each other multiple times. And I don't think Nigel Benn never beat Chris Eubank Sr. He never beat him. It was a split decision draw. The second fight, Chris Eubank Sr. stopped Nigel Benn the first fight. Okay? But the violence of those fights and the violent nature of Nigel Benn and Chris Eubank Sr., the violent nature. Look, you want to talk about middleweights that were extremely talented, that they ended Michael Watson. That guy was extremely talented, fantastic fighter. He was beating Chris Eubank. Then Chris Eubank catch him with an uppercut, puts him in a coma, ends him. I mean, near fatal injury. Nigel Benn, we all know about the G-Man, Gerald McClellan. You want to talk about somebody extremely talented, goes over there, fight Nigel Benn in a crazy war, near fatal injury. That's what Chris Eubanks, that's what Eubanks, the Eubank bloodline and the Benn bloodline, that's why with me, when I saw Conor Benn at 147 talking about meeting Chris Eubank Jr., I'm like, this is insanity, especially for Conor Benn. This is insanity. But their fathers, the type of warriors they were. And then on top of that, you see that Chris Eubank Jr. is trained by Roy Jones Jr., who was a part of that, but he never had the opportunity, the real opportunity, to fight Nigel Benn, to fight Michael Watson, to fight Chris Eubank Sr., to fight Gerald McClellan as a pro. They all fought each other. Roy Jones Jr. never really had the opportunity, and none of those guys, fought Bernard Hopkins or James Toney. But that middleweight, that world, they were right there, and they all knew of each other. Roy Jones Jr. being considered the most talented one, but now he's training the son of Chris Eubank Jr. He's training him to fight Conor Benn, the son of Nigel Benn. This is what legacy is made of. And then when I'm thinking of sons being this talented, sons of a rivalry where their fathers were rivals, meeting each other, and they're both actually very talented, I don't think I've ever seen that. And offsprings fighting each other from a rivalry of their parents, and they're really talented. I remember when Layla Ali fought Joe Frazier's daughter. That was pay-per-view, but Layla Ali was extremely talented, not Joe Frazier's daughter. This here, Chris Eubank Jr. Beating the likes of Yildirim. Remember when he beat Korobov, but Korobov was really kicking his ass. But Liam, Chris Eubank, he's getting busy now, especially with Roy Jones Jr. looking spectacular, but he has a violent nature. And you have Conor Benn beating Van Heerden, Algieri, Samuel Vargas. Look, knocking these boys out. This is going to be a violent fight. I cannot believe Conor Benn is fighting Chris Eubank Jr. I just cannot. Chris Eubank Jr., 5'11". What's Nigel Benn, 5'8"? I mean, not Nigel Benn, but Conor Benn. I'm sorry. Conor Benn, 5'8". Chris Eubank Jr., 5'11". I'm taking my walk. Then I'm going to do legs later. This is something to be excited about. I know everybody in London, I know you guys are going crazy. The bloodline is crazy. I would love to know what you guys think in the comments. This is my initial reaction, and like I said, I'm more afraid for Conor Benn than anything. But if he gets past this, I mean, it just shows his warrior heart, and I think this fight should be big in the States. I know it's huge for you guys in the UK. This should be humongous in the States. But like I mentioned before, their fathers ending the careers and almost the lives of extremely talented fighters in Michael Watson and the G-Man, and them two putting themselves through the ringer when they fought each other. And now you got these two savages, their sons, who are just savages, with Roy Jones Jr. being in the mix. This is it, man. This is huge. I'd love to know what you all think in the comments below. ShowBizz the dope. I can't stress this enough. How excited I am about this fight. Like I said, I've watched the danger though their fathers put people through and put themselves through. Just savage fights, savage wars. So there's that residue. I have that in my memory. So I'm looking at this like, oh, not this again. Let me know how you think, what you think about this in the comments below. I'm out. Oh, my God.